Yo, people, what you telling me back again for another Red Talk? Flawless, what's good, family?
I'm blessed, fam, man. What are you saying? You good at first and foremost, yeah?
I'm calm, you know. You
Yeah,
know what I'm
blessed.
saying? I'm calm. I can't even can't complain, bro. You know what I mean? Today's the day, blood. Anyone but Arsenal, fam. I swear down the hate
The
alone, fam.
fuckery's out the
Listen,
gate, you know.
bro, I need it, bro. Today needs to be the day, fam. I swear down.
I,
Today needs
I,
to be the day.
I hear you. I think they're gonna do it though. I'm not gonna lie, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna lie. I think they're gonna do it. I think they get past them, you know. I think they lose the final, but I think they make it. You don't think they make it? Go on, why don't you think they get past PSG? I'm guessing midfield, right?
Of just football heritage, bro. You know them way there, bro. I swear down, bro. I just don't think so. I just don't think so, man. I can't lie. I think them 2 free kicks, that was their night, bro. You know what I mean? That was their
Oh,
night.
you reckon the stars were aligning and it was written
Brother, I
in
just don't think
whatever
you have
that.
too many nights like that. You know what I mean? Like in the history of your football club, you don't have too many nights like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, think about
Yeah,
it,
yeah,
2
yeah.
kicks in the same night, bro. That bruv, come on, bro.
Worldies as well. They want
Yeah, like
worldies as well. Yeah,
because
they
you're
want
gonna have
worldies.
to. I believe that you have to put in a worldy performance to get past PSG over 2 legs. I
Mhm,
believe so. Do you know what I mean?
mhm.
Because even
Yeah,
though Aston Villa had a good 20 minutes, they effectively lost the game in the first leg.
yeah, 3-1. It was that
Yeah,
killed him. That third
yeah.
goal, the same way the third goal
The
killed
third
Real
goal
Madrid,
killed that.
that
You know what
killed
I mean?
Villa, but Villa obviously gave as good as they got. Yeah, with PSG, it's because they're so like their midfield is ridiculous. Like
Yeah.
Vitinho, Ruiz, Jao Neves is top quality. It's the other
Mm.
areas. That's where it is. Obviously, they got Kvaratskhelia, you got
And I
Desiree
think their
Doué.
front five, yeah, no, front six is a madness. Their midfield
Yeah,
and their attack is a
yeah, that's the
problem.
way
You
to
know
go.
them ones. It's just their defense. You would think
That
that they can be got at, yeah, definitely from set pieces, because if you look at the front three, they're not really going to help defensively. And when you look at the midfield, Vitinha and João Neves are quite short. You know them ones. So
mhm.
Fabian's the only real height that they've got. So I think from set pieces, I think Arsenal will be dangerous against PSG. But I think in open play, I think PSG will have too much for them. So I think the set pieces is where Arsenal could definitely get a bit of
Set
better.
pieces. Yeah, yeah. Definitely set pieces, and also as well the right hand side of PSG's defense. I think Arsenal can get at because that left hand side with Nuno Mendes and Pacho Ago.
Mm,
That's we've seen what they did to Liverpool, how they locked up Salah. That side, Saka
mm.
versus Nuno Mendes is going to be an interesting matchup. But Marquinhos, who's fallen off a cliff, Hakimi, who don't seem to have kicked on, I think they can be whether it's Martinelli over that side or whether it's Trossard or whoever they play. But I think it is going to be an interesting matchup. How do they deal? How do Arsenal combat PSG's midfield, especially with Partey being missing in this first leg? That's what it is.
I think that's a
Yeah.
massive miss, bro.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's better to have him missing at home than away. But honestly, yeah, the way PSG started against Aston Villa, yeah, I don't think it matters where they are. They only know how to play one way, in it. So I think just because it's at the Emirates, it doesn't mean that PSG ain't gonna play the way they're gonna play, because I think they've just got one way to play.
Yeah, they're not gonna like Enrique ain't gonna change it and they come and they sit back and it's 10 men back, it's 10 men behind the ball. That's not
It'll
their
never
MO.
happen.
They're gonna go forward. You mentioned the set pieces, which is in Arsenal's favor as well. And also I think it's very dependent on the front three. Very dependent. Because I rate Kvaratskhelia, I rate Barcola, but you see when it comes to Dembele and
Dembele and Kvaratskhelia didn't play the first.
yeah, they
Play the
didn't play
first
the
game
first two.
against.
Kvaratskhelia and Doué are the two I look at and go, yeah, you are difference makers. Dembele, even in the Liverpool game, yeah, we scored, but running the ball into the goalkeeper, decision making, and Barcode is the
Dembele's been all right though.
it's,
In terms of consistency, I think Dembele's consistency is improving as he matures. I think I'm seeing him mature as a player in real time, bro.
so you reckon this is not his what's the word I'm looking for? This is him, what's the word I'm looking for? In stepping up a level and his decision making getting better type of thing.
Yeah, but I think that's coming with age. Do you know what I'm saying? I think that
Oh,
he's
right.
finally stepping into,
The penny's dropped.
yeah. I think he's stepping into who he is now.
Mm,
Do you know what I'm saying?
mm.
Like, that's what I mean. Man said in 2025 is his most informed player. I think that he's stepping into finally who he is. I think his decision making is improving now. And to be honest, at 26, 27, this is when attacking players used to hit their prime anyway.
It should be because him and Barcola are the two. I don't know what front three he's gonna go with, but they're the two I look at in the front three. And
I think it might be
Arsenal can go out.
Barcola because it's away from home. Maybe it might have been a Doué at home, but you never know.
Mm.
They might still do a Doué thing. I'm not
I hope
really
so.
sure.
I hope it's Doué and Kvaratskhelia. I hope that's 2 out of the front 3. And then it'll probably be Dembele through the middle. And then the midfield's their midfield. But look at it, I'll go. Arsenal defensively have been very good, and they will get tested, especially with that midfield as well. But I do favour them with this.
But have they though? Because
Go on.
I know, I think one of the Arsenal guys in the chat was telling me that actually they are conceding more goals than like we're realizing. Obviously, we got it in our head that they're not conceding goals because that's kind of been the rhetoric around them for a while. But do you know what I mean? I'm not quite sure if those are the actual numbers, bro. I'm not really sure if those are the actual numbers. I think they are conceding goals.
Because defensively, they've been good all season long, to be honest. Like they have been. I believe they have the best defensive record in the league. Yeah, they do. So I'm right. 29 goals they've conceded. Just check that. So they have been. And even though, like Madrid, even though they conceded, they still put in a good defensive performance over those 2 legs. And I expect them to do this. I expect them to do the same. And as much as we crashed on Mbappe and Vinicius Jr. and Rodrigo and Bellingham for being poor defensively over those 2 legs, which they were, Arsenal contributed to that massively. Like Timber and Skelly locked up Mbappe and Vinicius Jr. and Rodrigo over both those legs as well. Kvyat, who people thought was going to be a weakness, including myself, did his job. Saliba obviously made the mistake over there in Spain as well. And then you add in Partey and Rice. And with them, it's not so much their individuals, even though I think they have good individuals defensively. As a unit, they get it collectively right. As they gave Madrid nothing. Granted, Madrid are not of the level they've been at the past, but they still have quality to hurt you. We watched the Copa del Rey final.
I don't think Madrid's players have the intricacies of the Varashelias, Dembeles, the Doués, the Vitinhas. I don't think
a little bit more crafty.
Yeah, they're not crafty enough. Madrid have got the brute force of Bellingham, the brute force of Vinicius and sheer pace of Mbappe, but there's no creativity, there's no inventiveness, like there's no real guile in that team. Do you know what I'm saying? So, and I think you have to be a bit more crafty to break down this Arsenal team, bro, because they're very robust, they're very organized, and they're not going to give you much. Do you know what I mean? So you have to take from them, and I believe
that's what I'm expecting from Arsenal. You mentioned about them being very well drilled, extremely well organized, extremely well. And like I said, adding them being individually good defensively, like their defenders are, they also structure well. Obviously, Partey will be a miss, but having that back 4 with 2 in front, obviously Partey's missing, it just makes it tough to break down. Whereas I don't think PSG, I think they'll create chances. I just don't think they'll create a lot.
Yeah, I don't think they'll create. I don't think they'll create a lot. I think they'll have to be. They got to be
on it.
They'll have to be
defensively. I think Arsenal will get at them. Like you mentioned, I didn't even think about that. The set pieces.
Yeah, but that's where I think they can get PSG is in the set pieces. I don't think in transition. I don't think that's where you worry. I think you worry. I think you definitely worry from set pieces. I don't know how they're gonna set up, but I just don't. I think attacking wise, I know Martinelli got the goal against Real Madrid, but I have a feeling I know Marino wasn't available before. If he's not available, if they do play Trossard, see down the middle, I don't think he's got pace to worry them in behind. No. Saka's quick, but his pace isn't scary. It's Martinelli's pace that potentially maybe they could utilize in one of the spaces where the fullbacks are going to leave gaps, because PSG's fullbacks always leave gaps.
Yeah, Hakimi going to get forward. And that's why I was talking about that right-hand side. Martinelli over there with Hakimi, with Marquinhos. He might not be the best.
But who plays the pass, though? That's my thing. Because when you look at Marino got 2 assists in the game before, and he's the midfielder, the false 9 that dropped in and played the pass. Trossard doesn't play those passes.
No. It'd be interesting to see what does he do in the midfield. Because there's no Jorginho, there's no Partey. Who does he play in the midfield? Does he drop Marino in there, or does he keep Marino up top and then play? Does he put Skelly in there? Does he put Zinchenko in there? What does he do? That's the key. You know what I'm saying? That's where it could be won or lost for Arsenal in regards to that decision. Because personally, I'm keeping Moreno up top if I'm Arteta. And then
if he's available, by the way.
Yeah, if he's available. What is he 50-50?
Bro, I think he was injured at one point, so he wasn't playing, or maybe he wasn't injured. I don't know, but I
think he's back
in
training.
Injured.
Okay, I think he's back in training. I know he was injured, but I think he's back in training. Oh yeah, Arteta plays him 100%. If he's
So he
training
plays
Arteta
him. If he's
plays him.
available, he just plays him anyway.
Yes, he plays him. Yeah, definitely. We've seen Arteta play man injured. You know what I'm saying? We've seen him push man back on the pitch. Like he's definitely we've seen him 3-0 up at Preston and put Saka on. Like he's playing, man. 110% Moreno, because they have no other. Take Moreno out. Who do you then? Not only do you have the upfront conundrum, you've also got the problem in the midfield as well. So it's like Moreno plays whether it is midfield or whether it is as the striker. Personally, I'd play him as the striker, but he might
I'd
put
play
him
him
in
as a
midfield.
striker too. I'd
Because
play him
I
as a
think
striker too. I don't think he's mobile enough to play in the midfield against this midfield, because this midfield is, they got three runners in there. That's one thing about PSG. They got runners. All three of them run. All three of them tackle. All three of them can pass. Do you know what I mean? Like that midfield there is busy. Not like Real Madrid's fucking Jude Bellingham, the bumper car, yeah, and then Luka Modric, the pensioner, bro. Like it's a different midfield.
I said the bumper car, and that's exactly what it is. And also, them man are agile, balance is lovely as well. Very tough to get around. So Moreno and Rice is a bad combination. If I was to try and combat their mobility, because they are extremely, you mentioned that them man are very even though we don't associate with them, man. Them man are very robust because they have that like accent, like Bernardo Silva. Before
they're very tenacious. Yeah.
Yes, that's the word I'm looking for. Very Bernardo Silva-esque like that, and because of their stature as well, they're very tough to get around. So that's why if I'm him, I'm putting Skelly in there just for mobility purposes and put Tierney at left back. I'd probably run that. It's not ideal, or maybe he puts in. Maybe he goes, all right, let's try and keep the ball better, and he puts Zinchenko in there, maybe. But
they're saying that likely that Marino drops into midfield. It'll be interesting. It'll be very interesting. I think if Marino, Rice, and Odegaard in the midfield, I think that midfield gets played through in terms on the ball. I don't think it's comparable to PSG's, in it. That's the one thing I would say, bro. And then Trossard in the 9 from the start. I don't know, but let's see in it. Let's see what Arteta does. This is his time to really show what he's about, bro. Do you know what I mean? They're the home team, so like they kind of do need to get something today.
Oh yeah, definitely need to take some form of lead over there, because one thing Arsenal are not built for is chasing. If they go there with the lead, that suits them down to a T. If they go there even with a 1-goal lead, they'll go, all right, cool. We gonna sit similar to Madrid, even though they had the 3-goal lead. Whereas if they have to go there and chase, that's where you are less organized. You can get caught in transition. And with the likes of Kvaratskhelia, with the likes of Doué and their midfield as well, they're gonna find you. So that's what you mentioned it there with Arteta. This is where you earn your big money now. With a couple of injuries, what do you do? Because your decision making is going to be absolutely key here in regards to not just the lineup, also tactically. How do you set up? How do you combat? They're gonna have time when the momentum's with them. How do you combat that too? This is where you earn your big money. You're the third, fourth best paid manager in Europe. Earn your money now. Earn your money.
Facts. Do you know what I'm saying? Crazy. Big up everyone inside. Do you know what I mean? It's going to be interesting to see. Obviously, we'll be here for the watch along anyway. What's your prediction anyway before we move on to the United?
I think Arsenal do them, Arsenal 2-0. I think Arsenal.
So you think Arsenal win at home 2-0? PSG don't score.
I don't think PSG score. I can see it going very similar to the Real Madrid game. And it could be up for it, and I expect Arsenal to perform at a better level than most people expect, like how they did against Madrid.
Mad.
That's what
all right.
Who you got? What you saying? Scoreline?
Bro, I'm saying they don't win today. Do you know what I mean? I don't really care what this. I don't care what the scoreline is. They don't win today, bro. I would love a PSG win. I tell you what, bro. I'm telling you, that'd make my whole year. But do you know what I mean? I don't. Yeah, I say they don't win today.
I love that. Oh, run me a P. Like I said, they ain't built to go chase. They are not built to go chase. However, that's why I expect them to take the lead, and then I think their approach will be similar in the second leg. But I hope I'm wrong.
So you think they take the lead into the second leg, and then cool.
And then they just do the same thing they did against Madrid. I've said this. I think they make the final, but I think they lose. I think I've already said this. I think the winner of the other semi-final wins the competition.
Fairs. Yeah, I think there's definitely
the winners from there.
The better teams on the other side for sure. Yeah. Man saying Rashford don't want to join Aston Villa. I haven't heard no talks of Aston Villa offering us any money, bro. You know them ones there. Like, I'll be real, because it's one of them ones where man's heard little talks of Asensio, them man potentially wanting to put down some bread for Asensio. I don't think they've seen enough from Rashford to want to pay for man anyway. Like, I don't like. The funny thing is, yeah, people have tried to over sensationalize Rashford's impact at Aston Villa, but every time I've watched him, he just looks like the same player that we let go of, bro. I haven't been impressed by any of his performances, bro. Like he's showing little spells of ability, but we've seen that his whole career.
Yeah, because all he's done when he's gone to Villa, because I've watched a lot of him at Villa. I like watching Villa anyway. So before he went there, I was watching him. He's just more busy. That's what it is. Has he had some good performances? Yes. But there's been games he's played where they've won and people try to tell me, oh, Rashford this, Rashford that. He hasn't played well. Like, for instance, when they beat Club Brugge away in the Champions League. He played that game. They won the game. He didn't play well. People were trying to tell me, I watched the game and Villa did play well. So because Rashford's one of those players, because he's more busy, people are gonna, and obviously because it's Manchester United and we're the big bad wolf and we're the reason to blame why everybody fails here, people are going to over analyze it and over sensationalize their opinion on it. Has Rashford been better at Villa? Yes, but the bar's on the floor for him. Has he been exceptional at Villa? No. Has he got some good G&A? Yes. Has he? But
even better, what's better? Because when he was here, he wasn't playing. You know the one.
So it's better because he's playing. That's my point. The bar's on the floor because he's playing. He's automatic. If you're a player who's out in the wilderness and you're not playing and you move to a club and you start putting in, let's say 6, 7 out of 10 performances, you'll say, oh, you're performing at a better level. Because he was better at Villa than he was when he was playing for us, whether that's under Amorim or Ten Hag. And which I'm glad about.
He's doing up that Garnacho expected threat. You know them ones, just because he runs around. Like, to me,
you know what? I'm with it. You know why? Because we need to get some money for him. So over sensationalize it. I've been bigging him up. Hey, well, it's our fault, man. You know what I'm saying? New environment in Birmingham. Like, he's been much better there. It's all everybody fails here. We're terrible. Run me my money. You know what I'm saying?
We just need the money for him. I mean, they're saying that he wants to go Barcelona. Bro, where does he fit in at Barcelona? Rafinha's playing out of his skin right now. You don't drop Rafinha for Marcus Rashford.
No, bench. That's where we go.
Barca not going to pay him 300 grand a week to sit on the bench.
Oh, forget 300k. You know what I'm saying? Whoa.
Yeah.
Forget that. He ain't getting 300k. I'm not saying that. Wams, you said, where does he fit in at Barcelona? Bench. That's where he fits in. And he do well. All them high lines and all that space and how they play. He do fine over there. Hey, Rants, I told you, I'm trying to sell him. Hey, Barca, come get him, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm hoping someone from Barca's watching. Let's move him on. If we can get 30, 40, 50 M's from him, like, let's do that. Because it's pure profit. I actually think he would do well over there, but no one ain't paying him 300k. But again, Barcelona, because they was linked with him previously, actually, before he went to Villa. He was linked with him. So cool. I just like the fact that he's being linked with moves away. Yeah.
No, I hear it, bro. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, bro. We'll see what happens in it, people. Obviously, I've been seeing today, we've been the Ryan Cherky links again, bro. Listen, I don't believe them. I'd love for them to be real, but I just don't believe them. It's just that simple. Like, brother, like, them man are saying that Man United are front runners to sign him. It's like, I just don't believe it. As much as I would, brother, I wish, I wish that was the case, but it's like, bro, I've seen this team sell the best footballers we have for the last 10 years, bro. We always get rid of the good players. What makes me think now that we're gonna go and sign one of the best fucking talents in world football, like, that doesn't fit the running around and fucking smashing his head against a lamppost kind of baller that this manager wants?
True, but we have to give credit to the new regime, because you mentioned about us selling our better players. That was the older regime. This new regime so far, from the transfer standpoint, has been better. Even the players we've been linked to have been better.
No,
I get why you're skeptical. I hear it, because Cunha with Cherky as 2 10s is a dream. You know what I'm saying? If someone would have told me 6 months ago, hey, start a 25-26 season, your 2 10s will be Cunha and Cherky for a combined fee of, or it'd be like 80, 90 M, under 100 M's, I'm fully with that. So I
that's
get why
a joke. Getting 2 of those for under 100 million is a joke, innit?
Yeah, so I'm with you on that. But they don't seem to be going away for whatever reason. Other teams don't see, because a player of that caliber for that price, you would expect more teams to be in for him, more teams to be linked to him. So there is something else. What that is, I don't know. We'll probably find
No,
out.
but I understand why loads of teams don't want a player like him, because he's not a player that certainly fits the modern system kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? He's one of them ones. He's an outlier. And players like that, if you don't know what you're going to do with them, most of the time you just leave them alone, innit? That's why I don't understand why we're signing them. But then, to be honest, Joshua Zirkzee fits into that category as well. Like, he's just a footballer, innit? Like, he doesn't really fit in the modern day systems. Do you know what I mean? Because he's not an out and out striker. So it's one of them things. He doesn't, there's no striker like him, profile wise in the world football, bro. There's no one anywhere near like him. He's just a one-of-one player. And these one-of-one players, like, you need a specific kind of manager to actually embrace them and let them just be who they are. Like, even our manager now has tried to change Zirkzee, bro, because he don't know what to do with him, because he doesn't fit into the normal structure of what the manager's system is.
And that's where the manager earns his big bucks. Because one thing Xerxes has shown, that he's shown this later run, was how good of a dribbler he was at going past players. Because he doesn't go past players in the normal fashion of just straight brute force. But he's a ball cap. Like, shout out to Lex, he mentioned this. He'll go past players. This ain't disrespectful, but it's gonna sound crazy. He'll go past players kind of like they're in slow motion. Like Morgan Rogers does that very, very well, where it's not brute force. He'll pick up the ball and it's like, right, man, just skip past two man. Even when Xerxes got injured, that was him skipping past a couple players, and then unfortunately he pulled his hamstring. So with Cherki, I think he has enough physical attributes to adjust. Because I look at him, I think he has enough acceleration, he has enough agility and balance. He's good enough from an agility standpoint, and his balance is good enough where I think he will be successful. So I think he would fit. And
I just think a player like him, if I have a player like him, I'm just not high pressing, because there's no point. Like, you know, like I just don't see. But that's it. Like the way he plays, I'd rather play a mid block here, get him on the ball, and he's very good at helping us play out of pressure. Like, I wouldn't want to do this man to man, loads of space in between the lines, and I think that's what we do with this manager. This is the only thing. I don't know if we do get him, how do we get the best out of him? Playing the way we play.
Because you have to surround. You mentioned about the space. This is where you have to surround him, and we need this anyway. Athleticism. You know who I think is a great foil for a Cherki? Cunha. I think that's so. I think those two as a tandem on the ball, but now you mention it, off the ball is also great. Because the tenacity that Cherki lacks and doesn't really have to his game, it's Cunha down to a T. The lap also has that too. Let's say Cherki's on the right. You've got Cunha to the left of him. Let's say it is the lap, and you've got Ahmad. And let's say a midfielder of athleticism, you surround him with it. It's kind of like in basketball, like, and you all know this, and basketball fans will know this has been mentioned. The reason why Luka didn't look so bad defensively, because look at what he had at Dallas. Hella athletes around him.
To be fair, like, bro, anyone that knew ball knew that he don't defend.
Good defend, and that's true. But you know what they did in Dallas? Hella athletes. That's what it is. Who can move? But then when you get him to the Lakers, and it's Austin Reeves and Finney Smith and Rui Hachimura, everyone's like, oh shit, you know what I'm saying? He a liability now.
Yeah, so, but that's why they got rid of him, though. You know them, man. But that's why they got rid of him, because they said this ain't championship winning basketball. They said the same thing about James Harden, bro. And James Harden played better defense than Luka.
Bro, like, Luka needs to get something.
Listen, I remember watching the finals, and bro, Luka don't even get off the floor when he's trying to apply any sort of pressure, nothing. They're like, bro, man, just standing there with his hand up. That's him playing defense, bro. Lowy. Man's not even jumping.
You know what? And what Dallas did, because you said it there, made it to the finals through the West, which we know is extremely tough. Surround him with it. So if we were to sign Cherki, I'll always back talent. Because you're a manager, like we're just talking about Arteta with Arsenal. You're the manager. You get paid big bucks to deal with these things. This is why you get paid the money. If you have talent, like Real Madrid do this, they don't sign players for their manager. You know what they do? Sign talent and say, figure it out. Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. But run me talent. As a manager, I'm saying, okay, run me, and then I'll deal with it in that scenario. So, yeah, we'll see. And I don't trust Amorim either. I hear you, Abdi. But he's
bro, I've been hear you. I don't hear him. Bro, I don't trust this brother. And this is why, if he gets all these players, I still don't trust this guy, to get the best out of them. And that's why I hope, and all we can do is hope, is that we're recruiting for the club and we're giving him the players and we're telling him, yo, figure out a way to play them. If you don't, we're sacking you.
Facts.
That's what needs to happen. I believe that they're saying that obviously he wants Gyökeres or he wants Osimhen. The club are more in favor of bringing in the Delap because he fits the model. Do you know what I mean? In terms of wages, age, profile, all these other things. Bro, don't give him what he wants, bro. Sign the players that you think is best for the longevity of the club and build a squad. And if he can't get the best, if he can't get the best out of the players, then you move him on. Do not start bending and folding for managers, because then you get yourself in a dangerous situation where you're getting rid of the previous managers' players, like what we're going to have to do with Ten Hag's recruitments.
And we should have been doing this. We are the employer, not the employee. Like I say, when you get hired for a job, you don't tell them how it's going to run. Whatever job you do, whether it's Manchester United manager, whether it's at a high level or you work a minimum wage job, when you go to that interview, you don't tell them how they're going to run the company. They tell you what is required of you. Now, as the manager, it should go hand in hand. So with Amorim or whoever the next manager is, okay, these are the type of players we're looking at. I've said this before countless times about profiles. When you interview the manager, okay, this is our idea. Let's go and approach a manager who fits in with this. That's what it should be. Like, you shouldn't be signing players for a back three if it's a back four manager, for example. Or you shouldn't be signing a manager that plays a low block if you're trying to high press. There should be some consistencies and similarities in the ideas, because then you create less conflict. The only conflict should be on the players. All right, he wants this player, but you want this player. But the one thing is, if we do bring in these talented players and Amorim does get sacked, the next manager's in a better situation because of the talent he has.
But this is why you make these signings, because they're in the best interest of the club long term, rather than the manager prefers a Osimhen. Because a striker like Osimhen, he's an acquired taste, bro. Not all managers like strikers like that. You know the ones. Like the reason why I like Delap is because he kind of does a little bit of everything. He does a bit of ball carrying, he does a bit of hold up play, he does a bit of link play, he does a bit of everything. You know what I mean? And he's physical, and he's an energy player. He's not just an in behind player, he's a player that can drop in. He does a bit of everything. And even though some people prefer specialists, when you're building a squad, without a face, you don't really have specialists anyway. Do you know what I'm saying? Because we don't really know, what the next steps are. Like, do you know what I'm saying? So having an out and out striker is not something that all managers like. Some managers prefer back to goal strikers. Some managers prefer strikers that run the channels. Some managers prefer poachers. Everyone prefers different types of strikers. So I'd rather have a striker that's younger and kind of does a little bit of everything, because then he'll always be able to fit, if that makes sense.
And that should go hand in hand. Let's say Amorim is sacked with the next manager. So the next manager you interview shouldn't want an out-and-out goal scorer because you've overlooked Osimhen. He shouldn't come in and go, well, I don't want Delap. I want Osimhen type. No, Delap should be his type of striker that he can work with. Even if it's not, it's like, okay, I can work with this. But again, this is on the board to do their due diligence. That's where it's at. So that's why I'm saying, go and sign these talented players. Don't sign for the manager, because we'll be here after the manager. Our identity and our ideas and ideologies should be our identity, our ideas and our ideologies. It should remain the same no matter who the manager is. No matter who you get, it should be, okay, we do this. Like big companies do. Guess what Asda do? Sell food. That's their main MO. You know what I'm saying? That's their main thing. Now, they might add in additions, clothes, for example. But their main thing, Foot Locker. Hey, we sell trainers and clothes here. They might add different things. They don't completely switch up if they get a new manager. That's what it is. Of course, you have to adapt to them, using them jokes. I'm using that analogy and joking with it, and it's tongue-in-cheek. But the same idea is the same. The thought process is the same, is what I'm saying. So that's where I look at it. So go and get, like someone said, he wants Semenyo. So the club need to decide, all right, are we going?
And Semenyo's another runner. Semenyo's a runner over a baller like Ryan Cherky. My thing is, personally, I believe that Manchester United need to inundate the squad with ballers, and it will force us to play football, blood. You know them, just by force, cuz you know that. Because at the end of the day, that if you give a manager if you give a manager a squad full of ballers, he is forced to play ball, bro.
Because
Do you
naturally
understand?
they're going to. Naturally
They
they're going
have
to. Yes.
to. Like this is my problem. When I look at this Man United team, it's like there's not enough ballers in the team. So because there's not enough ballers, it's like there's very few places that you can kind of rely on to play a certain type of football. Because, like, for instance, if you want to play out from the back, then you need to make sure that the technical level of the team from back to front is of a certain level.
It's high, and it's not.
Yeah, and it's not, bro. Like, you're trying to play out the back with Diogo Dalot, who's not press resistant. Mazraoui's press resistant.
Sure.
Maguire's not press resistant. Shaw's not press resistant, really. Do you know what I mean? When I'm looking at our defenders that are press resistant, I'm only really looking at Delit, Euro, Mazraoui, and them three just got bought.
And that's it. Like, that's it. And you shouldn't, like, and that's where it is. And then even on the flip side,
and then Ugarte playing up from the back with Ugarte.
Yeah. And we continue to do the same thing. And here the thing is, if the technical floor wasn't high, at least then be high with something. How about, let's say the squad is where it's at, but we had just physicality and brute force. You could actually do something. We can't even take advantage of 10 men because of our lack of physicality. We can't even just run teams, and then technically we can't keep the ball either. Like, I'm with it. So to me, it's everything is needed. Do we need more technically better players? Absolutely. We also need more physicality. Absolutely. Across the book, because everything's just low. There's nothing I'm happy with.
Yeah, but in the modern game, most of these guys are athletes anyway. These guys are getting picked because of their athleticism, bro.
But yeah, Rants, we managed to have the squad that doesn't have it. How we have the squad that doesn't have a technical high floor and physically we struggle.
Yeah, but the thing is, even someone like Xerxes, it's very, very funny. Yeah, when he came in, people are chatting shit about him. He's an incredible athlete, bro.
Yes.
6'4", yeah.
He moves like
agile, strong. Do you know what I mean? And a powerful runner, bro. Like, and man tried to ridicule man like he's not a freak of nature, because how many 6'4" athletes that size, yeah, has that strength, yeah, and can carry the ball and protect the ball like that? He's an insane athlete, bro. Like, when you actually look at it, bro, how many 6'4" men are shifting like that? They're not shifting like that. Because
a lot of people only think footballers are athletes when they look a certain way. Like, if they just look at it physically strong. Because when I say physical attributes, a lot of people just think just strength, just pace, just power. No, agility is a physical attribute. Balance is also one, which are super important. Like we just spoke about PSG's midfield, but people will look at that midfield and say it lacks physicality. Outside of strength, them man tick all the boxes. But no one will look at their PSG midfield and say it has great physicality. And that's where we lack in regards to it, because we just don't have it across the board. And then we can't even substitute that with great technical ballers. City struggle with that because physically they're not there yet, but they have good technical ballers that can keep the ball, which also helps. So with me, it's like
but you need to have one or the other. United kind of lack in both areas. Do you get what I mean? We don't have crazy athletes, and then we don't have crazy ballers. We're just in no man's land. And this is the problem with Manchester United. Like, Rasmus Højlund is over 6'3". Exactly, cannot win a duel. Supposed to have pace, yeah, but we never see it. Like,
can't use it.
Like, what's the point of it? Do you understand? Like, what is actually the point of it, bro? Like, even man say Pogba and Zlatan. I don't remember Zlatan ever really having pace. Do you know what I'm saying? But because Zlatan is built, yeah, like a fucking cruiserweight boxer, man look at him and say, yeah, he's an outstanding athlete, but he was never the quickest.
No,
he was never the quickest. He was very, very strong, but he was never the quickest. So when man look at Xerxes, yeah, the fact that they can't see how blessed he is as an athlete to be able to move the way he moves, have the agility, the balance, the strength as well, because he don't get pushed around by no one. So very good athlete. De Ligt's a very good athlete, bro. He's way quicker than people give him credit for, and he's fucking strong, and he leaps like a salmon, bro. The guy's dangerous in the air. Lenny Euro is rapid. Do you know what I mean? Another very good athlete. Mazraoui, very good athlete. Ugarte, whether you like him or not, he's a very good athlete. And so is Dorgu. So we're buying good athletes. So I want us to continue to buy good athletes, but we need to raise the technical floor of this team at the same time, bro. It can't just be athletes for athletes.
That's why it's a team, because it's a mix. This is why I would go and get Cherky. Because what he would lack in athleticism,
we got from other players in the team. This is
why it's 11. This is not one. This ain't boxing. This ain't tennis. This is not a one-on-one sport. This is why you have 11 players out there. Because if one player has a weakness, you have a player alongside. Partnerships. So if we go and sign a technical midfielder who maybe does lack some physicality, guess what? Put a physical midfielder next to him, it's an easy mix. It's an easy. We've seen it countless occasions. Same way with the 210s. Obviously, your wing backs have to be both. And then the striker, depending on who your 210s are. And then you have to change it up depending on opponents. Because someone said, what happens to, there was a comment from one of the members, it happens to Ahmad and Xerxes, etc., and Mano, if we do bring in players. Competition for players. Competition for places, sorry. Why can we not be struggling and bring Mano and Xerxes and Ahmad off the bench, for example? Or on the flip side, they're starting and you're bringing Cunha and a Cherky off the bench, for example. This is what it is. Look at our bench. The amount of times I look to our bench this season and go, yeah, there ain't nothing there. And there's nothing on the pitch. So it's like, what do you do? We've seen, even with Xerxes, change games, the Leon game. Got on the pitch. The changes, they get both legs. The first leg with Xerxes getting on, second leg, Mano coming on the pitch. Like, that's what you need. 100%. Well, we'll see.
100%. And the thing is, like, we need depth. What I don't want to see Man United fans is saying, if this player comes in, what happens to this player? Bro, allow it. Because we need a squad. Because when we saw Chelsea at the start of the season and we saw Felix, Sancho, Palmer, Neto, we were like, right, they got all of this in Kunku. And then now look at them. You know the ones like, bruv, man need players in it. Like, we're not at a point where we should be worrying about bringing in players, to protect other players and so on and so forth. Like even the Kobe Mino thing, he's a good player, but he's not good enough to be playing week in, week out for Man United at 19 years old. He ain't done enough in football, bro. He should never be starting for us. And the fact that people think he should be starting, it shows you that the level of this squad is nowhere near where it should be, bro.
Because that's a whole heap of pressure on him. Because I rate Mino. I think he's a good player. But in the ideal world, he should be impact off the bench, rotation. But because 100%. The senior players are in front of him are so bad, he has to start. We see the impact. Because if we're 100%. If we're going to get past Bilbao, guess what? He's going to have to play very well. A lot of the pressure is on his shoulders because he is one of the few X factors we have in this team going forward. You got him, Ahmad if he comes back, Bruno off sheer volume can do something. It's pretty much those three. Because you got Garnacho and Højlund who give you nothing. He ain't going to play Eriksen. Martin gonna go out there and run around. There's pretty much nothing else. Maybe Casemiro can do something as well going forward, as we've seen in the game against Leon. But it's peak. So yeah, don't protect him. No one deserves any protection in this team. Look at where we are and how we've been playing. I want competition for places. I want us to be doing this show and it's like, all right, what's your predicted lineup? All right, well, I'm gonna go with this. Nah, you know what? I think such and such is better for this one. And then that player's then coming off the bench. Quality. To me, you can never have too much of it. There's no much that I've never seen someone say, hey, that squad's got too much quality in it.
Facts. And this is what it is. And the thing is, when you're winning games, players don't care about being rotated either. Like, it's a myth. It's an absolute
players want to be a part of that. Imagine it's like, and that keeps players on their toes. People talk about players being comfortable here, knowing they're going to play week in, week out. Know that your position is up for grabs. If you perform poorly over 2-3 weeks, you might not get a start for the next 5 to 6. If such and such starts, but yeah, Cunha, bring him in, man. I'm all for that. He's the perfect blend of both.
Yeah, he is. But you know what it is, this thing, like this comment from Scholes, I get it to a certain point. He said Cunha's obviously athletic, he's got quality. I just worry about any signings coming in at the moment. It just feels like it's such a bad place to go. The quality of play right now is poor. The one thing I'd say is, I don't think the environment at Man United is bad. Like, everything that I'm seeing on social media and everything like that, I think that the dressing rooms, there's a lot of harmony there. Do you know what I mean? Like, Ahmad's posting a lot more, like seeing Ahmad doing fuckeries on Twitter and stuff like that, posting Snapchats and stuff. These guys are clearly in good spirits, innit? Like, I believe that there's some good guys in the changing room. I just think that the confidence can't be high because we're playing a system that none of the players really like, and they're doing it because they have to do it. Do you know what I mean? But someone like Cunha, it doesn't matter where this guy plays. He's got an air of the Alexis Sanchez is about him, like Alexis at Arsenal, where he just picks up the ball and tries to win games on his own, innit?
And he's gonna do his thing.
Yeah, like he's not a system player. He's one of them guys that just wants to be on the pitch, and he just wants to do stuff, bro. I'll be honest. And I think he's the perfect kind of player to come to Man United for the simple fact that the players that thrive at Man United are players like Bruno, that kind of just do their own fucking thing. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, they're players that just play for themselves, man. Like, it's always been, every time you try and be a team player at Man United, you end up just getting fucked off, mate. Do you know what I mean? So you're better off being a greedy prick like Garnacho and just trying to win games on your own, or doing the Bruno thing, just trying to force stats. Because, bro, it seems like at Man United, the single-minded players are the ones that seem to actually do well. Like.
Yeah, and with Cunha as well, it is Manchester United a bad place to go. Yeah, because of how we're performing. It's a terrible place to be right now. Even though the players are performance-wise, as a club, we are dying.
Yeah,
that is without doubt.
You can't rely on the system at Man United.
Yeah, however, Cunha is being brought in to turn that around. This ain't the first time Manchester United have been in this situation. It's the first time in the modern day era we've been in this situation. But Manchester United have had long droughts of being unsuccessful before, where players came here and died. Even though it was yesteryear before our times, go check the 80s, go check the 70s. I talk to my pops and my uncles. They tell me about these type of things, how this place was a graveyard for strikers, for example. Then we signed Brian McLaren, and he scored goals, and then everybody else was after him, the likes of Cole Cantona, etc., etc. So Cunha's got to be the guy to turn it around. Delo said something, I think it was last season, talking about the state of the club and where we're at and how he wants to be part of the group that turns this around. Because if you are a part of the group that turns this around, guess what?
History,
you will be lauded as gods.
You're
lauded as gods. You see what's going on at Liverpool. You see how they treat Klopp and their players because they went through a long period of being unsuccessful. There's certain clubs like that. Same way Arsenal. If they manage to pick up this champs, even though I don't, then players will be lauded as gods.
Yeah.
They'll have by the time before the final whistle's done, they will have the cement outside the Emirates to build that statue of Artel already expeditiously. So, like, that's where it stems from. So with Cunha, yeah, of course it's a bad place to be, but you're here to turn it around. This is why we are paying the money for you. So we'll see what's what.
100%. And this is what it is. Like, one thing man can say, is these players put in a shift, bro. Like, we was having the conversation in the group chat earlier, and I was saying to Musa, like, listen, when we're successful, these lot want to laud the manager. And then when we're shit, they're saying it's the players. But it's like, hold on, if we win the Europa League undefeated, it's the players. It's not the manager, because we were undefeated before he got it. Do you see what I'm saying?
We drew the first 3 games. I don't give the players out. When people say the players down too, no, the players are just not very good. No down in the tools.
But the thing is, sometimes players do down tools though. But I don't believe.
Yeah, they do. But I don't think this.
I don't believe that Man United players down tools very often. I believe that we've actually got players that love the club and they do fucking try, bro. Like,
it's collective failure.
Yeah.
There's no lack of effort. Outside of Hoyland, there's no lack of effort with these players. No lack of play. I've never once watched a game and went, hey, you lot are not trying now. Tell a lie. Newcastle, we gave up the home game. But other than that was it. We got beaten to submission because we just gave up in that game. But 99.9% of the time, I never criticized the effort levels. I just think we're terrible. And they're just not very good players. And that ties into the mentality as well, because determination is a mental attribute, as is influence. And we just don't seem to have a lot of that. So I go, when we win, this is why I say you can proportion blame where you won. But when we win, I'll praise everybody. I'll proportion blame where I think is appropriate. So on the flip side, when we lose, is it all the manager? No. Is it all the players? No. You can proportion blame however you want, but no one's blameless.
Yeah, I think it's a mixture of both. The reason why I say that is, I always give the players more credit, more credit for winning games. And depending on the flow of the game, you can blame players, or you can blame players or blame the manager, innit? Like, ultimately, as a manager, it's your job to set up the team the best possible way to make them successful. And at very least, you need to set up your team defensively a certain way. Where I start to blame players is if I set up the team defensively well, and then you don't take your chances and we don't end up winning the game, then I can start blaming individuals. You know, I can start blaming individuals. But the problem is when you're not setting up the team, you're not setting up the team in a way that benefits the majority of the players, and the team's losing. I have sympathy for the players, because you're asking them to carry out instructions that A, are not good instructions, and B, they don't believe in them. And if players don't believe in them, they're not going to be able to give you 100% anyway, because subconsciously you think this is bollocks, you know?
Of course.
And the thing is, competence breeds confidence. So how can players be confident in the system, when we're losing all the time? It's impossible, bro. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, in the normal life, when you keep losing, where does enthusiasm come from, bro? Most people in life, if you keep losing, you quit, bro, because it's normal to quit. if you just keep losing or you keep getting negative feedback, you're not good at something. The people that are not good at things and keep doing things, we laugh at them. You know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Like, bro,
That's why I'm laughing now.
everyone knows that one guy that's, do you get me? Them man there that was outside trying to sell their mixtapes back in the day before streaming, man trying to sell their mixtape. Man
And it's
trying
like
to
your
sell the same mixtape for 5 years and that.
Yes.
You
And
know
it's
what I
like
mean?
it's
It's like,
over,
bro,
man.
no
Like,
one's
give it up.
buying it. Yeah, like, bro,
Give it
stop
up.
it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, stop it. Like, nobody's buying it, bro. Like, you're not good, fam. Do you know what I'm saying? And this is what it is, bro. Yeah, man, come out Oxford Circus, bro. A man are running you down, you know.
Happened to us. We've also, it was outside the Foot Locker in Market Street in Manchester.
Bruv,
Those from Manchester will know.
This is what I'm trying to tell you. So at the end of the day, if somebody's not getting positive feedback from what they're doing and they're continuing to do it, you're like, yo, does this guy?
Of course you are. Your enthusiasm is going to dwindle. Of course. Without question.
Problem. So the players' enthusiasm is going to dwindle with every arse whooping that we get. And we've been holding a lot of beatings.
Yeah, we've been getting beaten.
And these players are not used to this, whether you like it or not, bro. Like 8th was our lowest season, and we thought that was a catastrophe. And now we're closer to 18th. So it's when you look at it now, it's like this is the most they've ever lost. And these players have won trophies for the last 2 seasons. So they're looking at this manager and they're saying, hold on, what you've asked me to do has taken us, it made us even worse.
And we was bad already.
Yeah, and we was bad already. So how do you expect these players to actually believe in this system when actually it's taken us backwards? I can't blame the players for this. I can't blame them for the fact that the manager's taken us backwards. I can't blame them for the fact that maybe they're not enthusiastic about what they're being asked to do, because why would they be?
Right?
Why would they be? Imagine you're fighting and your coach is saying, oh, yeah, just go to the body, and every time you go to the body, you get uppercut. Bro. Bro. Every time you try to go to the body, you get hit. A man's like, yeah, just keep that body attack, bro. Every time you go to the body, you get hit.
Yeah, I've been hit 4 times, man.
You're gonna be like, you know what? He's not the one getting hit. Fuck, man, I'm not doing this no more.
Yeah. I hear that. I get you.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
I fully get what you're saying. It makes sense. Of course, it's dwindling. Because you know why I feel like that as a fan? Watching it. Because we get beat all the time, I don't want to watch. That Bournemouth game, I didn't want to do. Genuinely didn't want to do the watch along, didn't want to watch. So didn't want to like so disinterested.
When the manager sets us up in the second half against Leon, to sit deep and be defensive, and we concede 4 goals with no reply. When we turn it around and win, how can you give the manager credit for that? It had nothing to do with him. It had everything to do with the crowd, the red card that wasn't a red card, and the fact that the players never gave up. That's what it was. It
was, and I give the players credit for that, because I thought they was going to chuck it in. When Lacazette scored that penalty, I thought it was a wrap. I thought, yeah, it's over. But the players stood up, and there was moments of quality. Casemiro, with it being involved in all 3 goals, of course, Maino, Maguire at the end as well. So I get it, because I very rarely give credit to people for putting out fires that they started. Where with the manager, he did switch it up and get it and put the changes up. Put Maino one, put Maguire up top, and I go, all right, cool. But we shouldn't have been in that scenario. But everyone just needs to do better. Like, we up comfy, and I feel like watching Manchester United, there's no adult in the room. I feel like there's no one that says, hold up, wait, stop. Everyone just stop what we're doing. Why are we doing this? Like when we're trying to play out the Bournemouth game, at the broadcast I was watching it on, we conceded the goal from trying to play out from the back. Twice before that, we got caught trying to play out from the back, but just didn't concede.
When we went to a back 4 against Bournemouth, we looked better instantly.
No.
And when we went to a back 4 against Leon, we looked better instantly, even though it was against 10 men both times. But
we're chasing the
game.
We
just naturally looked more comfortable.
Because you're in the ascendancy, and it's like, all right, let's go and attack. Let's go get this equalizer. Go get this winner in regards to the Leon game. Same with the Bournemouth game as well. All right, let's go get this equalizer type of thing. So that's how I look at it. We just, it is just depressing. And it's like, we just do the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. And no one's like, all right, let's do we know what Bournemouth's game is. They press high.
Yeah.
Because the manager said it afterwards. And we all know it because we've all watched Bournemouth enough, but then we're trying to play out from the back. And we don't even have press resistant players to do so. I don't understand if you're like, all right, we're going to go toe to toe and do that. But
man. I just think that there's too many conflicting messages from your leader. Your leader comes in and tells you that Casemiro don't fit the profile, and then turns around and now he's playing him every week. Do you know what I'm saying? And then you said that you now understand how to get the best out of him. But if he doesn't fit, he doesn't fit. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Desperation,
Because
desperate times call for desperate
Anthony
measures.
didn't fit, and now Anthony's gone to Betis and he's doing all that. So
Yeah.
maybe you made a mistake with Anthony. The difference is he's not here, so you can't recall on him.
You can't try and rectify that.
Yeah.
Desperate times call for desperate measures.
You shouldn't have let him go.
When you have an idea and a plan, and you're like, all right, cool, this is gonna work, and it doesn't work, and then you try and edit that plan, and and change it up slightly, and it still don't work. You have to revert back to the likes of Casemiro. You look at your bench and you go, all right, cool. Because Casemiro got in just because of injuries. It wasn't a switch up, it was injuries. And then it worked.
Xerxes to a certain degree.
Yeah, Xerxes to an extent.
Kind of got in by force, turned around being one of our best players, yeah. And then you dropped him anyway. And then he was benched the previous 2 games and he came back, then he got injured. And now people are saying, oh, it's a big blow for us. Why is it a big blow for us? Because when he was fit, you weren't playing him.
We weren't playing him, but it worked. Haven't it happened with centre backs got injured and we played him to the point you then played him in a must-win game against Sociedad.
Right.
And he played very well in that game. But if Lindelof and Evans and Maguire and everyone else is fit, we don't see Heaven for that stretch of period. So that's what happens. We don't see him for that because it wasn't like all them was fit and he was like, okay, you lot haven't been playing well. Let me try Heaven. No. There's no one else. All right, he's left-footed. Let's see what's what. So that's what forced him to play him. Like you said, with Casemiro, like with Xerxes, like with Heaven, and I'm sure there's more examples as well.
No, 100%. And this is the problem. Like, why didn't he play Anthony into form like Rasmus? Bro, he said that the physicality is the reason why he's doing well in Spain and in Europe. But then the problem is, like, there's nothing about Rasmus that's showing me that he's keeping up with the physicality. And the same goes for Garnacho. Garnacho is not physically superior to Anthony in any way. He's not faster than him. He's not stronger than him. He's not more tenacious than him. So there's nothing physically that Garnacho excels at that Anthony doesn't from a physical point of view. Like, Garnacho might be a couple inches taller, maybe. That's about it.
Yeah, and even the thing is, look at his performances. Even if let's say he's right, even though he's wrong, and physically that man do match up, it's not translating to good performances.
Right.
It's not translating to goals and assists. It's not translating to them helping the team. So why continue? Stop it. They both went 20 games without a goal.
Right.
Drop him.
But this is my problem. Like, I don't see the current situation right now, in terms of the coaches. I don't see a way where it doesn't end in tears based on what I've seen so far. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think everyone's in that aspect. But because they're too far gone.
No, but a lot of Man United fans are in hope, are in hope that somehow it's just going to turn around.
Oh, of course.
There's a lot of hope.
But with the Manchester United fan base, hope is always there. Hope's always in the air. Wherever there's Manchester United fans talking, there's going to be someone who looks at it and goes, maybe this, maybe that. There's a light at the end of the tunnel, even though it's an oncoming train. And we can all hear it's an oncoming train. But people think, it's the light, man. No, it's a train. Get off the track. So, like, that's where the issue lies. And everything points to this ending in tears. Where I'm at with it is I want the players gone first and foremost, because I don't want no more fresh starts and clean sheets for these players, no more remontadas. And then if the manager goes with them after that, cool. But because this is their guy and now we are signing for a back three and we're signing players for his system and the plans are fully in place, to rip all that up now, to then go get a new guy, it's like, no, we're here. Now we have to see it through.
Facts.
You no choice, even if it's looking like it's bleak. It's kind of like in cricket. If you and your partner that you're running with have already gone past each other, there's no point turning back. Even if it looks like you're gonna get run out, you just continue to run. That's what we have to do. It's too far gone now. And now, does it end in tears? Every single metric points to it ending in tears. Yes.
Yeah, 100%. Like,
and they have to do
everything I see, people talking about, it looks like it's coming from a place of hope, more than expectation. You know, like when people are talking about, they're saying if he gets this and if he gets that, but surely, I always say the true measure of a coach, is what he does with what he has. That's the only real genuine way to measure a coach. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, there's no other way to measure a coach that is fair. Do you know what I mean? You can only judge a man with what he does with what he has. That's it. Anything else other than that is not a true way to measure. Because, for instance, like, there's situations where you look at you look at Pep, for instance, at Man City. For most of the time, he's had the best players in the league, innit? So him winning the league, yeah. So what, like? Do you know what I mean? To like, cool, you won the league, but it's like you didn't win the league with Leicester.
No, of course you did.
Do you know what I'm saying? So
yeah, I fully hear that what you're saying, and when it comes from hope, because even when I talk to United fans about this Bilbao time, outside of hope, no one can tell me why we go through. I personally don't think we go through. Or like you said, it's all ended in tears with Amorim at a later date, at some point next season. Every outside of the second leg being at Old Trafford, what is in our favor? But I keep saying this: if we flipped it, and we was where Bilbao are in the Premier League, and Bilbao had the season we had, we wouldn't be trying to hear about Bilbao beating us over 2 legs.
No,
not a prayer. No, if we had the best, they have the best defensive record in La Liga, a league that contains,
brother, and we don't score goals, brother.
And we don't score goals, and we haven't won back-to-back games all season long. And the manager has less than a 30% win rate. We have 2 attackers who don't score goals. They've lost 1 game at home in the league.
Yeah, bro, listen.
Defensive records in Europe,
brother. Common sense tells
United,
you.
That's the only reason I respect.
But that's why, because common sense tells us we don't go through based on all of based on all the metrics. We don't have a chance, bro. But because we're Manchester United, we have a chance.
That's it. Because we're Man United, mate. That's what it is, Rants. United.
This is the point, and this is why I say football heritage, bro, because football heritage, does not make sense. It doesn't follow trends. It doesn't do nothing. It just does what it does, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, this is it. Football heritage has got Man United in a situation where I could see us getting something.
Yeah, I hope so. I can't. The more and more I think about it, the more and more I've discussed it on a daily basis, I'm just leaning even to more as well. So I hear the heritage talk. I hear it. What we need, talent has to be there to help that along as well. And our lack of is just astounding. And I don't even trust our manager to even pick the right team. It won't surprise me if Maino didn't start. It won't surprise me if it's Casagate and he picks the Holy Trinity.
I don't think Kobe should start, though.
I think he's got to start. Over Garnacho and Højlund, he has to start. He has to.
What? You think so?
Yes. In that second, in this first leg, yes. Starting. Starting.
Hear it, bro.
He has to, man. I'm sorry. Them two are. Maino might not be 100% at it, but him at 8. The goal he scored against Leon, they're never scoring that. Never ever scored. We need to have some X factor. We need to have something. That's why Bruno out there, cool, but I'm playing anyone in the squad ahead of Garnacho and Højlund.
I would play Kobe, maybe in the 10, but he hasn't been playing him there.
Yes, that's my point. This is my point that I'm making about the manager.
Yeah, I think Casnogate in Europe, you probably do start them. But then I'm trying to see Bruno Kobe on that left instead of Garnacho. But or even Garnacho and brother, I'm trying to see even if it's play Bruno and
Maino.
Bruno and Kobe.
I'd drop them both personally, but that's just me. They're non-goal scorers. Why do these men get leeway?
No, facts.
1 goal in 28 games.
No, I hear
2
it.
in 25. But maybe he might not play. I'm telling you, Maino has to start. And the thing is, I could see him not starting him. If it's Casagate, cool. I'll have no issue with that. But Bruno gonna play, and then them two gonna play, and we've watched this trio be terrible. It's never worked.
Yeah.
When is Bruno, Højlund, Garnacho as a trio? Yes, Bruno's better.
It's shit. It's never worked, but this manager keeps doing it, bro.
That's my point.
This is my problem. Like, he keeps doing it. It doesn't work, bro.
And he's gonna run it out there again against the best defensive team in La Liga. These men don't concede goals. We don't score. They've lost 1 game at home all season long in La Liga. I think they're the 3rd best defensive team, like in the European top leagues. I think they're 3rd or 2nd.
Yeah, bro. See, you're not filling me with no confidence whatsoever.
Like, to be honest, fam. They've conceded less goals they've conceded less goals than Inter Milan.
Yeah. See, I didn't even know all that. I was just going into this like semi-optimistic. Now I know all that shit. You know them ones. Now there's even more imperative that Arsenal lose tonight. You know them ones.
I wish I've been saying this, fam. I wish ignorance was bliss.
Yeah,
I
I'm
wish
not.
I was ignorant and didn't do, because I was doing my stream, I was doing a solo Q&A, and then I had United fans in my chat telling me we can win. So I was like, all right, let's actually do the research of this. Let's do some due diligence. And the more and more I looked into it, the more and more my confidence was dwindling, to the point I said, I wish I was ignorant. And I just ran the heritage thing. I wish I did. I'm sorry, man. I'm going to be honest to you lot. I got too much respect
I
for
didn't even
Rants
know
on the
what we're like, but
platform.
it's peak now. It's peak now.
You know what I'm
Can't
saying?
even
Don't even
lie, bro.
start
That was
talking about
the only
our-
thing I had. The only thing I had to be optimistic about was football heritage, bro. That was about it. But now, man, are telling me these men are not conceding goals. I don't know where the goals are going to come from for us unless we get a Buki penalty. Because you know what? We've got 2 red cards in recent weeks, so maybe we're going to get another red card or a penalty or something.
Hope so. Or they have
Maybe.
an off. That's what I'm hoping for. They have an off day there or something like that. Yeah, man. I've been doing my research, because people were telling me, why are you not confident? So I was like, okay, let's get into this. Why we're not confident. And then the more and more you look at it, we are people don't realize how bad we are. We are notorious non-goal scorers.
Yeah, we are. We're nasty.
We played 17 away matches in the Premier League and scored 18 league goals. Why are we going there and winning 2-0? Why are we someone to
But that's a fair point. You know,
why are we going there? That might have the 4th best home record in La Liga. We are 14th away from home in our league. Because if it was, like I said, if roles were reversed, we would not be trying to hear about Bilbao. No chance if roles were reversed. But hey, I hope I'm wrong, people. Let me just clarify that. I hope I'm wrong and we get through and I get crashed on for being wrong. Cool. Because then we're in the final. And I think I look at this as our final. I think if we win this, we win the competition.
I believe so too. That's exactly where I am. I'm at that point where I'm saying what you're saying. Do you know what I'm saying? We are 100%. Yeah, I think if we win over these 2 legs, I don't think it matters who we see in the final. They get it, bro. Because that's where football heritage kicks in. But first, we need to, you know what I mean? We need to somehow find goals to score past a team that don't fucking concede over 2 legs.
That's what we gotta do.
And we're a team that leaks goals as well. Do you know what I mean?
And we struggle against players who are pace and power and direct, and they have the Williams brothers who do that. We've seen what's his name did to us. Malik Fofana. We've seen what he did. The 3rd and 4th goals came from him. The 1-2 on the edge, he played it then. I mean, the 1-2 from the halfway line, ran down, passed it to Cherky. Cherky scored. Running out our defense with 10 men, by the way, Shaw fouled him, and then they're 4-2. I'm telling you. Yeah, man. Like, go check these things. Everyone here has go do your research and go check.
Brother, if we can see the early doors, we're done, innit? That's one thing, because United be loving these early conceding goals and that, bro. If we do that, we're finished.
Don't play out from the back. Play the percentages. Kick the ball long. That's what we need to eliminate this playing out from the back. Like, don't let the crowd is going to be crazy anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
we
bro.
scored 2 at Anfield.
I can't lie. This is completely killed my enthusiasm for the game on Thursday. I'll be honest. I wasn't trying to overthink Thursday. I was kind of just doing the vibes thing. But now man seen the numbers. Yeah, it's not looking great.
It's not looking good. Hey, like I say, people, I apologize, but I'm gonna be honest, man. I'm gonna just be honest with it, because like I said, I wasn't confident anyway. From the draw was made initially. Them and Roma, because they played each other, was the 2 teams I didn't want. And then obviously we've ended up on the side with them. The thing is that does give me, they don't score a lot, they do draw. They did struggle against 10-man Rangers as well, and Rangers aren't great, even though that was at Ibrox. So I look at that and go, yeah. And if they have an off day, Maino, Bruno, Ahmad and Delittle will be back for the second leg. We just need to keep the tie alive.
Yeah.
Don't lose. I just don't see us not lose. I said that about Leon and Sociedad, don't lose, and their 2 games we should have won, and then we managed to do the business at home. That is the benefit, is the second leg is our old team. But this manager, these players, we know there's some bozo stuff going on. Lineup is probably going to be wrong. And then we going to see Sean Maguire out there. Like, but
yeah, bro. Let's see, innit? Hopefully we get another red card, people, because this is what it is, bro. No red card, no party. That's what it's looking like for us at the moment.
Red cards, yo.
Two red cards. Peak, man. You know what I mean? So I don't know, guys. We'll be there anyway.
We'll be there.
You know what I'm saying? We'll be there. Do you know what I mean? You lot run up these lights. Also, Clip's channel is less than 100 away from 10K in it. So Make sure you subscribe to the clips page if you haven't already. Well, mods, make sure you throw that in the chat. Subscribe to Flawless's channel as well. The link is in the title. Do you know what I mean? Closing in on 15 as well, bro. Like,
yes,
less than 200 away, man. So guys, make sure you're supporting that. Let them know what you got coming up for the rest of the day, rest of the week, my bro.
Yeah, first and foremost, big up for having me as always, Rants. Much appreciated. Love every time. Big up to the chat also. Subscribe to the channel Sarcasm City TV as well. So tonight, what we got coming up, NBA playoffs I'm doing over on the playback, people. So I'm picking out the best games to do. So playoff games tonight is a late one, 3 a.m. It's the Nuggets Clippers game. So game 5, that is obviously that's tied at 2 apiece. So make sure you head over there for that. So playback, there's a schedule. NBA games galore. So I'll be doing the Rockets Warriors game tomorrow, as well as the Warriors Rockets and the Timberwolves versus the Lakers as well. In regards to tonight, Arsenal show straight after the game, people. So I'll be with the Arsenal lot, Don C, TJ, Tony. So we'll be talking all things Arsenal tonight, and then the rest of the week solo Q&As. Obviously, watch along for the United game as well. More Manchester United Chelsea show, Manchester United Spurs show, etc., etc. All on the schedule, people. So you know all the shows that are coming up. So
that's it, people. Yeah, man. So you lot keep an eye out for all of that. Make sure you support up the thing. Make sure you run up the lights, people. And yeah, we're back here for the hate along in 30 minutes.